Hello, investors and traders, and welcome to the weekly market report. I'm AJ Monte, and this is the Dow Jones Industrial Average ETF, ticker symbol DIA. We have just under 2 minutes before the markets close, and I just want to show you this candle right here. That is known as a bearish harami. It's when you have a very small bodied candle that falls within the larger green candle from the day before, and that's 80% bearish. Not only that, but we're seeing that form right at a key resistance area at the top here. Now, we have been doing a good job hitting the upside and the downside targets lately, and therefore I'm keeping this downside target in place for DIA as we have that set at 382.20. Now, if you look down below, you're going to see that the CCI down there, which is my favorite oscillating index, that is hinging to the downside. It's not quite at a sell signal, at least not yet. The sell signal would occur once the blue line crosses the red line, which is the plus 100 mark. You could see what happened to the markets last time we crossed with that sell signal. The markets got pummeled in the days that followed that sell signal. So we are expecting that sell signal to show up possibly next week. We'll have to see. But if you have any long positions, you might want to do yourself a favor and at least protect those profits along the way. Now, if we look at IWM, which is the small cap ETF, you can see here that we have hit my upside and downside targets, then my downside target and my upside target. These are known as two-part forecasts. Here we go. The markets are closing right now. Markets officially closed on this Friday, June 21st. This is the summer solstice, the longest day of the year, by the way. And so this is a two-part forecast that was hit. And what I think we could see next week is a slight downturn in the markets to retest this support level down here. We are really stuck in a very narrow trading range with regard to the Dow Jones Industrial Average. And the Qs are getting a lot more action, obviously, from a lot of the tech stocks and the AI stocks like NVIDIA, SMCI, and some of the other ones. So we are really stuck in this range between resistance up at that 20-period moving average and the most recent support level. So again, downside target on IWM is now set at 198.05. Moving on to the Qs, which is the tech sector, you can see here we have a full-fledged pivot point. And as I zoom in here, you can see that yesterday's candle, that big red candle, is engulfing the previous day's green candle. I remember the markets were closed on Wednesday, so that was Tuesday's price action right there on that green candle. The bearish engulfing candle works out to be 80% accurate with regard to lower prices once that shows up. So we're keeping that downside target set on the Qs down there at 465.89. Take a look. We already have the sell signal showing up on the CCI down there. So that is for the Qs. SPY, we're going to follow suit. It's going to look very much like the Qs. We have that pivot point. We have that big red candle yesterday. That was a bearish engulfing. Have the sell signal on the CCI. We see the cross here, the %K, which is the blue line, crossing the %D, which is the red line. That is a sell signal that we find to be very valuable, especially for swing traders. And let's move on to the VIX. You can see that we hit my upside target on the VIX, but we have a bearish harami on the VIX. And so I believe that the VIX is going to drop just a little bit and then possibly bounce off of that 20-period moving average. So let me draw my lines here for you as we go ahead and put that forecast in. It's going to be a two-part forecast. Or again, I think the VIX is going to drop down close to that moving average and then test the highs once again right there. So downside target on the VIX, $12.90, a bounce off the 20-period moving average, then right back up to 1362. Now, before we get into the geopolitical news, let me just first say that we follow the 7-point trading checklist when analyzing stocks. This has allowed me to build a fairly strong percentage of accuracy of about 83%. What does that mean? Well, that's the best in the world as far as I know. 83% hit rate means that more than 8 out of 10 forecasts that I put out on stocks, ETFs, and even on a lot of the cryptocurrencies, and I'll get to that in a minute, 8 out of 10 are hitting those targets over a 2-month period. And so using that trading checklist will help you become more accurate in your own forecasting, which in turn helps you put the odds in your favor. Now, if you are on YouTube, I would suggest you follow Lena Petrova. She is one incredible reporter. She looks at the financial world, the geopolitical world. She gives her reports based on fact, hardly any emotion. Once you get to see her videos, you'll see why. They're very short but sweet, and rarely do I promote anyone, but I say she's a good one to follow, and that, again, is Lena Petrova on YouTube. Now, this week, this is another one that I follow, and that's the Kobasi letter on X. And they stated, this came out today, by the way, that U.S. household expectations about real income growth over the next 1 to 2 years have dropped to the lowest level in 10 years. This is the steepest decline in the last 6 decades, even steeper than during the 2008 financial crisis. So this is, again, what the University of Michigan puts out. This is a dramatic drop. So when you have expectations dropping, of course, confidence will drop. And of course, as a result, spending will drop. People are very concerned about how far their dollars will go, or maybe how far their dollars won't go. So something that you could pick up, just follow them on X, and you'll get much more news than what I'm just reporting here to you. Now, here's one that went out to our VIP members through the VIP chat. Thank you, Nod, for getting this out there. The percentage of total outstanding credit card balances at least 30 days overdue from 2004 to present, you could see that we are reaching levels that are equal to what we saw 12 years ago. Now, the source of this, of course, is the Federal Reserve, but it came out through LendingTree in an article that they put out today. So keep an eye on that, because this is, again, some of the dominoes that are going down that you need to know about. Then remember, I was talking about cryptocurrency. If you follow me on X using hashtag AJBTCforecast, you'll see that I keep my targets on there. I usually pin the Bitcoin and silver forecast to the top of my page. So we finally hit my downside target on Bitcoin is 64,000, and it looks as though the momentum indicators are still moving lower. Now, I'm not calling for the next low to be 60,425. I'm just saying that that is the next level of support. So if we come any lower next week and we start to pivot higher, then I'll most likely start making an upside forecast. I am not a buyer of Bitcoin at this level. I'm just giving you the report. I am looking, however, to buy silver at the lower levels. So keep track of my silver forecast on X as well using hashtag AJSLVTrades. And you'll be able to find me there. Finally, this is the last slide, because we found out something very interesting, is that when my videos go over 15 minutes, we get less viewers. Last week, it went almost 20 minutes, and we had 20% less viewers. And so our goal is to build the eyes on the report. So we're going to try to keep these short and sweet so you can get on with your life and not have to spend too much time digging into the geopolitical and economic news. This was extremely interesting. I didn't really know this was going on to the level it has been going on. And everything is frozen right now. This is day 3 of the cyber attack on the auto dealerships. So keep your eye on GM, Ford, some of the other automakers, and also keep an eye on how this might affect some of the local economies that depend on car sales and traffic coming through those particular areas of the cities. All right, folks, thank you so much for liking, following, subscribing, doing all that great stuff. I love your comments. I do my very best to answer all those questions and address those comments as well. Thank you. That helps build the algorithm, gets us more eyes on the videos. We're shooting for 12,000 subscribers. We just passed the 11,000 subscriber mark, so please continue to hit that like button and share, because we're growing thanks to you. You have a great weekend, and we'll talk to you next time. Bye-bye.